So you're an entrepreneur that wants to grow your business into the millions. What do you need most? Let's talk about mindset.
Do you want to do what you want? Do you want better money? Welcome to Dream Job Radio.
Hey guys, this is Daniel Quentin Lakstins, and you're listening to the Dream Job Radio Show. Now, if you're an entrepreneur and you're wanting to grow your business into the millions, what would you need? What is the most important thing to have? Well, it could be maybe some money, right? If you need a VC, you might have to look at putting together a pitch deck. But there are other things that you may say, a good team, a great product, or whatever you're doing. You may even believe it's your passion, which is true. You need that passion. But today I wanted to talk about mindset, because if you don't have the right mindset, well, it just doesn't happen. How do you have an amazing team unless you have the mindset that keeps everyone positive, even selecting people? But the way we think about things when running our business has a huge impact on the customers we find and the people we work with, even the product, how it's developed. In this episode of the Dream Job Radio, I interview a roofer named Pete Harding, and his company is GoGreen Roofing. Now, this is really interesting, though. I like interviewing very successful entrepreneurs. This gentleman does over $30 million a year, and he has a goal that's even more than that. But what he attributes it all to during this interview is mindset. And so I thought I'd like to have you enjoy this discussion that I have with Pete Harding. So my special guest is Pete Harding. Pete, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, so we saw each other on TikTok. You have an amazing following, and your videos are inspirational. And I just couldn't help but say, I want that guy on my show, because if you're able to inspire people to live a better life, to have choose the job or the business that they love, I think you're an excellent example of that. But before we get into that, I was wanting to ask you, what's your dream job?
I'd have to say inspiring people. You know, what I do is, myself in a nutshell boils down to this. I work harder on myself than anything else so the whole world can benefit, so I can be of service to humanity, period. And I just happen to be a roofer.
Yeah, well, that's, you and I are birds of the same feather here, because, first, now let me ask you this. How did you get into roofing?
Well, it was the summer of '82, and my friend's brother opened a roofing company in Santa Cruz and said, hey, if you want to tear off roofs, I'll give you $4.50 an hour and all the beer you can drink. And I said, I'm on, let's go. So, and I was 16 or something, and I'm like, let's fricking do this. And I did that until I graduated in '84 every summer. And then I went full on into roofing. I'm totally dyslexic kid. They just pushed me through school type. So when I say graduated, it wasn't like I graduated.
I was the same way. I was doing some filmmaking. I owned a small business called Video Venture, and I was starting to get some decent gigs. I was also a fragrance model. So I ran into this one guy that sister had gigs. I did modeling. So I was with an agency.
And I could tell.
Yeah. What's that?
That's what I could tell.
Oh, behave, baby. But yeah, so I was doing stand-up comedy. And then I was making instruction films. Sometimes it's like a new MLM startup. This one guy hired me to create a film that was called How to Program Your VCR the Easy Way. And so, he hired me I got paid pretty well on that, but it wasn't, most of my phone calls were for porn. People would call me up and say, hey, I was just, innocent. They just wanted to film themselves. And I couldn't do that. I just, especially that time period, I could not. That was
awkward.
Yeah. So I started placing ads without my brother's knowledge for his roofing business. and the phone rang off the hook. And at that time, this is like 87, I was able to make $10 an hour. Plus I'd make 10% commission on selling the job. So that was really great. And then 4 years, I bought my brother out. He went into bathroom modeling. So kind of split everything up. And then years later, I had to exit, from that. I did that for 15 years. So, but this is kind of cool because I mean, it's you and I are so much alike, you know what I mean? In so many different ways.
I just had an idea that we should make a film called How to Reprogram Your Brain the Easy Way.
Ooh, I like it. I like it a lot. And it takes time. A lot of people want to avoid the shadow work. I heard a TikToker talk about how someone was ragging on her for talking about law of attraction. And they're saying, well, law of assumption's better. But if you haven't seen that video or that TikTok, she's really good.
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
What you're talking about is, it's all part of it. They see on TikTok, I get a lot of haters. I get a lot of haters on TikTok, and it's just people who don't understand, they see the end product, right? Oh, I'm running a $30 million a year freaking roofing company. You have no freaking idea what I went through to get here, and how much of that money is eaten by the company. It's money in, money out.
Yeah, most people don't even know that you're paying. So if you're incorporated, that the employer pays half your taxes. So the employer literally pays half if you have a corporation. So I mean, they don't know that. Most people don't realize how much money it costs.
It's enormous. So the amount of money, then you have workers' comp, then you have insurance, all this crazy stuff. And it's just basically, I just want to see what we're capable of, because the people I work with, my partners, everybody from the guy who works, the yard dog to the superintendent to the general manager, they're my partners. They're not employees. I don't call them employees because we've all worked together for decades. Some of my videos on TikTok I posted yesterday and stuff on speak to that. But it's without them, I'm nothing. I'm just some crazy guy with a freaking idea. I just happen to, I always laugh. They're like, how do you do all these things? I go, well, I watch 5 minutes of a 20-minute how-to video and I go do it.
Yeah, that's what I
never watched.
YouTube's been like my best friend for years now, especially if you have attention deficit and dyslexia like we do.
Yeah.
Because I can listen to a video at 2 times the speed and then boom, it's like, wow. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. And how to do so many things at one time that I can ingest information and become better. How can I do this while I'm doing, roofing, my day job, while I'm running a company, trying to push the company over, push the company forward, but work harder on myself than anything else so I can help more people. It's freaking madness. And it's not for the faint of heart, because you are going to become somebody you have no idea what that person looks like, right? And I am absolutely blessed to be able to do that. And now I grasp it and I see it after all of these years, and I just work on it. And, you talk to people who don't understand, like if I was talking to somebody other than you, then their eyes start to roll back in their head and they're like, this guy is freaking nuts. But what you and I have to look at, we have the proof of the pudding, right? I have a large company that actually does a lot of work throughout all the Western United States or the whole United States, if it makes sense for me and my client. And then I have a whole bunch of people that benefit from it that I've worked with for decades. And that's it. Get as many people as you can what they need, and you will get what you want, right? It happens to be roofing, man, and that's it.
It is. I do say that roofing is one of the American dreams, because you can make a whole lot of money. But I mean, you got to be careful. It's like they don't necessarily license. Like I'm in Texas. Where are you guys located?
California. I've done work in Texas. You don't need a license in Texas. You just need your business license and different, what do they call it? Parishes or something. you need your licenses, a certain license, because I have clients that I work with here that own buildings there. So I'm not actively going into the Texans' front yard to pick a freaking fight, right? I would never do that. I have a client that comes to me and goes, "Hey, Pete, man, I got this building in Texas." And I'm like, "You're sure you don't have a contractor out there?" "Positive. We want you to do it." "Okay, I will do it." And then we'll show up and we'll get the freaking wagons circling the building like, who are these freaking assholes? Excuse my language.
No, that's okay.
from California out here, and I don't do that. I have a lot of respect for other roofers. Your territory is your territory, and I don't want to go in and piss somebody off.
No, and I don't look at people as competition either. I always, in Roofing Business Builder, we always teach to micro niche down. And it sounds like you found some specific customers that love you. And because they love you, then when they own buildings across the country, they're gonna call you and send you in. That's not your fault. Those other roofers did not create that opportunity. You created that opportunity. So it's your job. Doesn't matter if it's in their backyard, their territory. In those instances, it's going to happen. But yeah, I'm always teaching, develop really close relationships with people that own multiple buildings. And I've had people invite me to weddings and birthday parties, and that's the kind of relationship you want to have with your customers, regardless of what business you're in.
It's all relationships. Like, you've seen the videos on TikToks where I talk about, I walk into offices. I still do. Why? Because I love to meet people. I love, like, what's your story? What do you do for fun? Those are two of my first questions I asked. What do you do for fun? It's like, how did we end up on this freaking roof or wherever we're at, in the middle of nowhere? What's your story? Like, how did you come up to this? Because when you're doing work, like, I'm walking a 6,500 square roof in San Diego with a property manager. That property manager is at the top of their freaking game, right? So I show interest in, like, how did you climb this ladder in your industry? How did we end up here? Like, I'm doing, that job was about $1.5 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how did we get here together right here, right now? I'm truly interested, and I am truly interested. And those questions create a synergy with each other, because then they ask you, like, what's your story? You're fully tatted down, and you're different. They always tell me, you're a very unique person. And I'm like, I guess I'm me. I don't know, whatever. But, the relationships are relationships. And I still go around and I still see signs for property management, rent this building, and I'll call them. "Hey, my name's Pete Harding with GoGreen Roofing. How are you? Do you have any projects I could bid on?" Because that's the way I've always done it. I don't pay for billboards. I don't pay for radio spots. I don't pay for anything. I don't pay for marketing. And that has been proven and grew the business. And it's the people want to send out email blasts, and they may work, slight percentage, or mailers, slight percentage. I think it's 1%. But if you're face to face and you ask somebody, "What do you do for fun? How'd you get here? Do you have any projects I can bid on?" You're going to get a job before the guy that just sent 10,000 email blasts. It's like, you're not going to make a relationship, because it's all relationship, and people buy from their friends.
They do.
The quicker I can make you my friend, the faster I can get to work with you.
That's brilliant. Yeah, that's exactly what I have always taught too. I mean, even I wrote that book, 30 Careers Before 30, Finding Your Dream Job, faster than I did. But in that book, when I'm telling kids how to find a job, I'm like, you don't want to have all the competition. The best thing to do is you go through, it used to be back in the day, Yellow Pages, but
yeah, that's how I did it.
and then find a company that you resonate with, and then go in there and find the hiring manager. Go in there and talk to somebody. And if they like you, if you resonate, you may not like that person. And, some people, they apply for a job, they don't even know who the boss is going to be. And then they get the job and they hate it.
But it's a good teacher. I look back, Steve Jobs said it best. You look back and you see how all the dots connect. I see it now. Unfortunately, in roofing, most of my mentors were teaching me exactly how not to be, right? They were treating all these guys out here. We used to get treated like crap, screamed at.
Yeah.
You're an idiot, all that stuff.
There's still foremen that do that. If once you're contracted with a GC and the GC's foreman is yelling at your foreman. I lost a huge contract during the wintertime because of that. And it was terrible that we got thrown off the job because, my foreman yelled back at him. And I told him, he's not yelling at you. He's yelling at the company. You represent the company. So a lot of people take things, take offense to it, like they're being yelled at. It's like, if you're working as a manager for a restaurant or as a manager for any sort of business, if a customer is yelling at you, they're not yelling at you, they're yelling at the company. So you can't take things too personal when you're in business if you want to maintain those relationships. But man, you're right though. I think that things are changing though. People's mindsets are different, or maybe you've just targeted the right niches, the right specific relationships with customers that actually resonate with you, and they're not that way anymore. You know what I mean?
I think I do that. And I am in a niche. I do a lot of acrylic coatings, big time coatings. That's how I got the name GoGreen.
Oh yeah, that's right. I didn't even mention, what's your company name for everyone?
GoGreen Roofing Corporation.
And it's spelled G-O?
Yeah, one word, Green.
Go Green. I love it. That is a niche too, even a specific niche. You're going to find people that love environmentally friendly, energy efficient, sustainability.
Yeah, renewable.
It's
renewable. We do about 50% single ply, 50% coatings, which I think this year is going to be more coatings because just availability.
Yeah. Have you heard the latest news on some of the TPOs weren't going to come out until September? They're just so backlogged, but have you heard anything?
I have a direct line to one of the VPs of one of the largest manufacturers, and in a meeting, they said, you know what, man, I don't see this thing easing up till the third quarter of 2023.
Oh, geez.
And fine, whatever. I'm going to keep working, and I'm going to keep putting boots on the roof however I can, and that's what we're all just trying to do, is feed families. And, my thought process for my people, I have about, when we're jamming, between 100 and 120 people. So right now we probably have about 80 guys out in the field. And I think about, okay, I got 80 guys. They're married. That's another 80 people. Their mom and dad probably live there. That's another 160 people. They probably got 2 kids. That's another 160 people. That's what keeps me up at night. My eyes pop wide open like, holy crap, I got all this responsibility. I was just supposed to start a business because I was a horrible employee, I thought. What happened? And so, caring is it's rough, like I said, all these people see the end result. And I'm just getting started. This is not the end result. 100 million. I want to get to 100 million.
Yes. Set your goals high. So everyone listening to the show, Pete Harding is doing $30 million a year with his company. But he doesn't stop there. He resets a new goal. That's where being uncomfortable comes into play when it comes to law of attraction. They say, well, you got to be uncomfortable. Well, yeah, because we're doing growth, we're growing. And just think of how many people he just mentioned. I mean, we're getting close to 1,000 people
that depend on the paycheck from this company.
From that company.
So let's talk about that, the goal setting a little bit. So when I started the company, I had a goal of $20 million. I'm like, right on. And let's $20 million. And then, it'll be like free ride in there and we'll just be, in hog heaven, whatever. And 7 years into the business, by the way, it took our old boss 20 years to get to $7 million. With the same exact team, it took us 7 years to get to $20 million. Is that freaking weird? Synchronicities, right? So right when we hit that 20 million, I felt this empty, sinking feeling.
Wow. Why is that?
Holy crap. And they're like, what's wrong? And I go, you know what? I have to apologize. And they're like, why? We hit the goal. I'm like, because I underestimated all of us. I go, the goal should have been $100 million. I'm sorry. I as a leader, I failed you. I go, but believe me, it's never going to happen again. So, and that was just before COVID. And then COVID hit, and then we're, learning all this new stuff on how to get material. But the new goal never ended because, my goals are like the Cinemarks, the big boys that I always see at the top of the mountain, right? And I know they got their headaches like massive. Like, do you really want to do 100 million, dude? Yeah, I do, because we all die. I want to know I gave it my best. And I want to know that I drew out the best out of everybody. So when I'm dead and buried, they're going, that crazy stuff Mr. Pete, they call me Mr. Pete, used to do. That dude was a cool guy. That's all I want, fine. And I don't even want that. Like, hey, remember that Christmas dinner? Every year I buy everybody's dinner for their families. Every year. And it's like, that was cool, man, amongst massive bonus checks. But, at the end of the day, that goal setting, if I have an idea and I take it to somebody and I tell them the idea, and they look at me and they go, that's doable. I know that idea is not even at that. I'm like, damn, I want them to go, are you freaking crazy? You can't do that. Then that's the idea. That's what I want to do. If I come to you and I go, hey, bro, I got this idea, and you go, oh my God, there's no way you'll ever be able to do that. That's insane.
That's the one you want to invest in.
That's what you want to do. We're only here one time. You're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. Because guess what? If you have that idea and you don't do it, and you're on your deathbed, guess what you're going to be thinking about? It could be that, and I don't want to find out.
I love it. That's really cool. And your passion is contagious too. But yeah, ideas, and I do tell this to people too, because whether they're listening to the Dream Job Radio Show or if you're listening to this on Roofing Business Builder, your idea is worthless unless you make it happen. So it's like someone's, well, I had this $1 million idea, but it's like, could someone just give me $1 million? No, because there's a lot of work. Pete not only has the idea, but he implements it. And that implementation, that takes, time and a lot of mental work, right? To make that idea come to fruition, to make it happen, that's where all that work. Now, ideas are very important, but someone like Pete, he makes it happen.
And that's where that, I'll watch a 20-minute video, 5 minutes of a 20-minute video and go do it, because I know that the way somebody else does it isn't the way I do things, right? So I just charge out after it. And if it doesn't work out and it starts to fizzle out, then I move on quickly. I cut its tie and I bail. I'm done.
Smart.
Right. So, yeah, I just do these things, and I do a lot of self work. I don't want to get all spooky, but
they don't mind. Everyone, the Roofing Business Builder, everyone knows that I do mindset. So I talk about
it's all mindset, right? Because I fight with demons, low self esteem, freaking all sorts of stuff, right? I fight with it. So it's not easy for me to do anything. I have to fight these demons that come in and are trying to knock me off a course. So I'm fighting these demons, right? But like Henry Ford said, if you think you can, or if you think you can't, you're right. And then I heard somewhere, like reading the Sanskrit or something like that, that if you have an idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're the idea's idea, right? So you have, I forget how it's put, but if you have an idea, the idea wants you to complete the idea just as bad as you want to complete the idea. Does that make any sense? But it's
totally
like,
does, yeah,
it's there for a reason. You know, it's not just going to pop up because you're tooling around. It's there for a reason. It's a gift. You know, some people can say it's a gift from God. It's a gift from divine. It's a gift from the universe.
Yep.
Whatever it is, it was dropped in your brain for a frickin' reason. You need to chase it down just to satisfy the fact that you're chasing it down, right? And to try. You have to try. And that's why I do all this crazy stuff. My ex-wife used to say, you know, you never stick to one thing. And I just look at her and I go, it's called life experience. That's my classroom, man. Like, I'm going to say it again. We're all going to die. So you might as well try. Right?
Ooh,
So
I like that. I like that a lot.
you
Yeah,
might
I
as
always say
well.
that we don't make mistakes. We're only making discoveries. If we can reduce that amount of emotion that we add to what we consider of the mistake, oh, I messed up. Oh. And then what happens is that energy then draws more experiences in the future like that. And in reality, if you're a scientist and you're just like it's just something simple. It's like, I don't know if this is going to work. Well, we could try these two ways. And you try the one way, that didn't work. And you try the other one. Well, this does work. But you don't have this emotion about it saying, oh, I messed up. I can't believe I did that. You're like, come on, man. No one messed up. We made a decision and we tried it. It didn't work. But I'm not going to allow my emotions to be majorly affected by that, because there's so many discoveries. That's what life's all about, is discovering what works. And, you know, a child doesn't cry. Well, it does. If it falls down and scrapes its knee, you know, it's not thinking about praying for forgiveness because it made a mistake. No, Michael Jordan who's LeBron James, I'm sure none of these guys notice when they make, you know, they're like, that's not me. And then they shoot the next one. They go, ooh, that's me. Swish. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's so many different things, you know. It's like TikTok. I put up a 7-second video. Because of that video, I became one of the 13 roofing contractors for a huge box store in the United States. So
Really?
yeah, it's insane.
Wow.
So what happened is I stepped up to the plate and TikTok took a swing and hit a freaking home run. Right?
Yeah, you did.
But how many times do you strike out? More times than you hit a home run. You know, the best player freaking strikes out 90% of the times, right? Mm-hmm. And
look at the batting averages. I mean, the very best make a lot of failures.
1 out of 300, right?
Yeah, right. That's awesome. But they're still the best of the best. So but they're not thinking, if they gave too much attention to that they missed that, or they struck out.
People are looking at the home run.
They're
not looking at how many times they struck out, right?
Yes.
And you know, it's just incredible that people like see the end result of your eye, you know, and say, oh, they're successful. It's like, well, you know, I could be successful with nothing except for freedom, sitting on a beach somewhere.
Yeah.
No money in my pocket. That's success, right? You know, complete freedom from anything. But they don't see how many times we strike out. They don't see how hard these people work, you know, 18 hours a day for freaking 5 years straight, weekends included, right? And it's like, but they can be critical about it. But, you know, the adversity, because I've seen a lot of adversity, everybody has. I've created a lot for myself. but that's the sharpening stone for your sword of life, right? There are no failures, there are no mistakes. And the problem is people think that, I think that word failure should be abolished because there is only learning, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You only fail it. I don't know who said it, but you only fail it if you give up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So who is the guy that did made the light bulb? How many times? 10,000 times.
Thomas Edison. Yeah.
Thomas Edison, 10,000 freaking times. This is my third time.
And what he said is, he says, I just discovered that many ways of not to make the light bulb.
Because each time you become more efficient. And being a shingler, I started out doing wood shingle. I did the ocean waves, stagger butts, sidewall, all that stuff. And you had to be very efficient. And being ADHD and dyslexic, it was perfect because the sound of the guns and to be very efficient. And that carries into everything I do. Like I'm not tweaker efficient, but if you could see my office right now, it's a mess because I'm a visual guy. You know, I have to see if it's in a drawer, might as well throw it away. I don't even know it's there. I won't see it for 10 years. But to be more efficient, you know, so doing business and doing things and extracting the best out of people by pouring into people. The only way you're going to get back is if you give twice as much, right, as a business owner. And all that old school BS of screaming at people will just never work. So getting back to the adversity is your friend. You know, I am the person I am today because I screwed up so many freaking times and treated people horribly or did bad things or did good things or fell on my face so many times. It got me here, period. This is not for the faint of heart. Doing anything isn't for the faint of heart, but you have to seriously follow your heart. You know, what is it? You find what you're good at, what you like doing, and what the world needs. And you'll find out what you need to be doing. And you just keep trying to shoot that arrow with that little one spot, you know, and keep trying for it. I tried to get out of roofing for my entire career.
Me too. We're so much alike. It's crazy.
I didn't think it was glamorous, and I was just a freaking roofer. And oh, you're a roofer because we had this.
Although women really, I mean, they thought I was hot. So I mean, or whatever, because I was always in really good shape when I was roofing. So
I still am because I have to hump that big old ladder around, man. And I'm 56 years old. I cannot, a 40-foot ladder, and I'm 5'9.5", 170 pounds. I gotta stay a little in shape to move that freaking ladder to be able to.
You do,
people, right? So, and that's part of it too. Like I mentioned, working harder on yourself than anything else so the whole world can benefit. I have to stay in tip-top physical shape to be able to provide opportunity for others. I just have to. And it's rough, because a lot of my friends aren't in good shape, and they're losing their health. And, we're in our 50s. It's like, hey, man, you're running a company, dude. Like, I have other friends, big companies, like, you need to take care of yourself, man. Or what's going to happen?
The problem is things add up. Just like the solution in running a business is things add up. Meaning that you keep working at it, you discover what works, what doesn't, you get another bright idea, you keep doing that. But the thing is the other little things add up too. And what that is if you gain 5 pounds of weight every Christmas season, then chances are, within 5 years, imagine 5 to 10 pounds a year. In 10 years, I mean, that's 100 pounds of weight that you just added. So, but if you want to reverse that, you just think of the reverse of that, and then we work at that.
Like you don't get lung cancer by smoking one cigarette. It's one cigarette at a time. All I'm saying is, it's not just one thing. It's all these different things. It's mental, it's spiritual, physical, to be able to keep pushing forward, because you got to have the energy to do it. gotta be able to have the energy I work nights, weekends, all the time, all the freaking time. I'm not sitting here at the desk, but I'm on the phone, I'm sending emails, and it's because I enjoy it. I enjoy the interaction. I found what I love to do. And making a long time ago, roofing wasn't glamorous, I didn't think. And so I just sit there and think, how do I make roofing glamorous? And I was flying back and forth to all these jobs, and I would meet these people. They're like, what do you do? Oh, I'm a roofer. Oh, can you do my house? No, I'm not going to do your freaking house. So one day I saw that roofing is the fourth most dangerous job in the United States. I'm like, oh. So this next person asked me, what do you do? I go, I protect billions of dollars of industry while performing the fourth most dangerous job in the United States. And they're like, oh my God, what are you, CIA or FBI? I'm like, no, I'm a roofer. Thank you very much. And you're welcome.
I love that.
I love that. Like, whoa, because I do a lot of government installations. They just have these big warehouse where they keep all their Post-it notes and stuff with guards and dogs. And we go in and we roof them. Last one was in Texas, as a matter of fact. And so it's like roofing is glamorous. And I think busting out with the TikToks, I get a lot of work off of LinkedIn, massive amount of work off of LinkedIn. And these things showing, our artistry as roofers. We are artists. We build roofing systems that everybody has. You cannot go down the street without seeing a building with a roof, right?
Yeah.
So have some respect.
Yeah.
We do that. That's what we do. And, that's our artistry. And building businesses, taking care of people, that's what we do. Own it, be it. And when I realized that I wasn't just a roofer, this happened. Everything around me.
Boy, so that mindset comes back again, once, because some of those limiting beliefs that are keeping us back from certain things. And I think I had the similar experience too, but because I want to wake up in the morning and say, yay, I can't wait. I'm getting ready to go do what I love doing. And finding the path to that is what you found. And I really appreciate that, how you express that, because it does. I mean, you have a passion. I was also one of the ones that was trying to escape the roofing industry my whole life.
Oh, my whole life.
But once roofing, you don't find roofing. Roofing finds you.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
Guy offered me a bunch of Coors. I'm like, sure.
That's what happened to me.
Beers all day.
Yeah.
And then I'm in the Silicon Valley, and granted I was horrible at school, but my friends who weren't are making 6 figures a month selling software and stuff. And I'm going, I want to do that, but no company out here will even pay you any attention if you only have a high school degree, right? A high school diploma. And I barely had that. I had like 1.8 GPA or something, and it's like a nightmare. So I kept trying to do that or try other things because roofing wasn't glamorous. Then I just thought, you know what? I'm damn good at this. I can do ocean waves. I can do stagger butt. I can do hot tar. I can do every type of freaking roofing there is. And these people are afraid to do it because it's hard. We do the fourth most dangerous job in the United States and make it look freaking good.
Mm-hmm.
That's something to have some pride over, man.
You bring fabulous to the roofing industry. I love it.
If we could get roofing, like residential roofing colors that we can change for the season, just think how much more the material manufacturers would love us. If we could change, oh, look, it's springtime, we got to put our spring roof color on. I think it's pretty funny. Like it's probably not going to ever happen, but
it might. I had different designs, and I hold a patent too, so I have that creativity. But where the walls, you could change your walls quickly. and I also have an idea I'd love to talk to Elon Musk about. Is I want to create a car factory where we have maybe 1 to 3 different frames, and out of those frames we can purchase the rights to have the body like a Lego, but you can pull into on a weekend if you want to drive a 69 Corvette. As long as you have your frame, you can pull in there with a 57 Chevy, as long as you're paying the licensing fee for that. And then boom, that you could. So the frame is all the same, but you can trade out the bodies on it, and you can trade out the seats too. It's kind of like a
same premise.
Yeah.
So where I saw this was as I was watching a thing about cars and about how they started back in the 50s and 60s, started marketing to women. Right. And they would market the color of the car, and they would have this beautiful lady there in this beautiful gown that was this really distinct color, because this sounded so weird. But, women were starting to come up in the public and starting to be able to buy their own cars. So they were marketing these colors to them, like, being glamorous. I'm like, oh my God, that is such a great idea.
Well, Pete, it was such a pleasure having you on the show. I mean, you're passionate, you're a success, and you're actually growing still. So it's like a lot of people would say, "Oh, I met the peak," but anyways. But thank you so much for coming on and sharing so many great ideas, and especially helping people to understand how mindset is so important, and whether you're an entrepreneur or whatever you're doing in your life. But thank you so much, Pete.
Thank you. And with that mindset, no matter what age we are, we're just getting started.
Ooh, I like that. All right. We'll see you all. Peace.
Thanks, buddy. I'll talk to you later.
So that was my interview with Peter Harding, a man that self-made, created a roofing business, did over 30 million, and now he has a goal of 100 million. If that sounds like the kind of person you are with whatever business you're starting, keep being inspired by those that are really, truly working on their mindset and changing the lives of others. So that's it for the Dream Job Radio Show. Be sure to check out maybe my TikTok. I don't know if you've noticed, but I started a TikTok a few months ago, and it's all on law of attraction, higher levels of law of attraction. So if you're into that sort of thing, be sure to follow me on TikTok. And I'm going to have some more good stuff coming your way. So thank you so much for supporting the show, and I'll see you next time on the Dream Job Radio Show.